I will now move on to the ADP. Well, with less than 2 months to the 2023 elections, the candidates are rounding up what has been a very lengthy campaign season. The Action Democratic Party says it is also ready for the daunting task ahead. The task of fixing Nigeria isn't an easy one, but the Action Democratic Party's presidential candidate, Yabagi Sani, says he's ready for the job. Nigeria is faced with a plethora of issues ranging from insecurity to poverty and an economy that needs a major boost, and the ADP presidential candidate is assuring Nigerians that if given the mandate to serve, the human and material resources of the country will be harnessed to promote decent and quality living for Nigerians. Well, joining us now is the candidate of the Action Democratic Party, Yabagi Sani. He's a petroleum engineer and an energy expert who has attended some of the prestigious universities in the world, like the Harvard University, Columbia University, and the Institute of Technology in New York. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, Samina.
So, we haven't heard so much about anyone endorsing you. I mean, when are you going to get your own endorsements? Let's start from there.
Well, you know, it's an interesting time we're in this country, you know, as we're watching how the cookies are crumbling in the so-called big parties. Today, Nigerians, I'm sure, you know, are now wiser and better informed about the futility of going on with what we have been doing all along. That time has come for us as a nation to make a departure from all these clueless, rudderless, you know, parties or leadership that Nigeria has been subjected to. Since 1999, PDP swindled the country for 16 years, and they don't even have any shame. They are coming back to say, we're going to give us power again.
Well,
you know,
you're a politician, you know how it rolls.
I mean, it's, it beats my imagination that, you know, what we went through, those 16 years, you know, of course, there's no going back to Egypt. You know, Nigerians are now
that's what former President Olusegun Obasanjo seems to be saying, that, look, yes, Nigerians should be wise as we get into the elections.
Exactly.
And why do you think he's jettisoning his former party?
Well, I think he jettisoned that party a long time ago when he tore the cards, the membership cards of that party. You know, I haven't seen that, you know, it has come to what you can call an atrophy of what it used to be as PDP when it was formed. So I know that, and the APC is even worse. We all know that. APC is a party without organization, without capacity, without plans, without credibility, without focus. You know, there's nothing that you can put on APC that can stand.
Well, members of the party will dispute that with you and tell you that they are very strong on infrastructure. This is the best government. I mean, you would have read the presidency's reply to Obasanjo's letter.
Yes, well, the president can say whatever he wants to say. Yeah, I'm not expecting the president to say anything different from what he has said. He said he has tried his best. Yes, but the best is not good enough. You know, the best is not up to the nearest expectation, you know, of Nigerians.
So what would the ADP do differently? I mean, you are a presidential candidate. What exactly are you offering that different from the PDP, APC, and even Labour Party or NMPP?
We are coming with a government that is going to be run by rule of law, you know, meaning that everybody will be equal, meaning that everybody will have access to what is due for you, you know, and meaning that this country will be respected once again, that people will now feel that they belong, because that's the most important thing. The fact that people are not given, you know, that opportunity to be part of what belongs to them, you know, as a nation, you know. So these are the things we are coming to do. You will know that you will be able to understand, if at all you are going to be punished, you know why you are being punished. You will be able to criticize, you know, the law if you want to. The courts will have no choice but to become independent, fair, and will be free for anybody to come and then be given what is due to you in terms of justice. That is absent today. So the issue what ADP is coming with is what Nigeria today and tomorrow and forever will require, will need. That is capacity.
Tell us about economic plans, for example.
Economic plan,
we had the PDP guy saying that the bag of rice is about 45,000 naira now. Under an ADP government, how do you intend to foresee a bag of rice, for example?
What we intend to do is to key into the global narratives as far as the global economy is concerned today. There are 3 planks that you can identify in terms of the global economic setting, which is climate change, energy transition, you have information technology. That is what will drive the 4th industrial revolution. And when you look at all these 3 planks, believe you me, Nigeria plays big in those areas. When you talk about climate change, Nigeria is it, because we are number 6 in terms of the countries that export crude oil and gas. And in fact, we are even number 4. We are bigger when it comes to gas. In fact, we are described as a gas nation. So look at what is happening in the area of gas today, the gas market today. Europe is looking for this gas because of the Ukrainian, what Russia is doing to Europe, because of this Ukraine war. And so we believe that this country is a promise of greatness. When you look at information technology, our young ones are attracting billions of dollars investments into the new tech developments that they are doing, in spite of the rudeness and in spite of lack of organization that we are in as a government.
Well, the APC will tell you that it's under their government that these youngsters are attracting this investment.
No, in spite of these youngsters are attracting these investments. Look at what they have done. The one that you could say is because of their government is something like the PIB, which becomes a PIA. That would have, they promised us that investment will be flowing into this country, where nobody, in fact, they are leaving. The oil companies are leaving this show because of, lack of governance, good governance. So the issue, we have also the issue of energy transition. Like I said, energy transition, we are a gas country. So we occupy that choice, of a place in terms of the global economic setting. So look at even the COP27 that just ended in Egypt. There trillions of dollars have been made available for countries like Nigeria to access. So we are a country that, believe with me, if you have leadership, that's the only thing standing between us and greatness. And we are coming to provide that leadership.
Now, because if you do, how will that reduce the cost of living?
It will definitely.
And ensure that the cost of food is reduced, like I asked. And then, of course, job creation. A lot of young people are saying they're out of jobs.
What you can do in the area of gas, believe with me, is so much. If we're able to even complete that AKK, the Ajakuta, Kaduna, Katsina, you know what we have done to the domestic industry, even in the north, where you have bandits. The banditry will have been something that today will be going away from the north, because that will have transformed the economy of the north. Electricity will not be a problem to them, and if you cannot supply them, source of power, an efficient, energy is what drives, the economy of every nation.
And again, the APC will tell you that they're already doing that. They're already rolling out the AKK. Abuja, Kaduna,
there's nothing they're not doing, but we see it now. Where is it? It is not yet delivering what it's supposed to deliver. A sensible government, a serious government would have made sure in the first term of their coming, that project would have been completed. First time, there's something that will stop you from doing it. Because if you have about $5 billion of your dollars, $5 billion of your money being stolen, documented, not that somebody is imagining it, you would have stopped it because it's been documented by NIT. Every year they carry out these studies, they say you are losing close to $5 billion every year. So how much do you need to do AKK? $2.8 billion. So a government, ADP government, our administration, believe you me, will turn things around for this country. You will never know that it's the same country.
Yeah, because but unfortunately, a lot of Nigerians will tell you that they haven't seen the ADP campaigning, that you're always on TV or media and all of that. What exactly have you been doing? It's close to the election now. Just very few weeks left to election day.
1 week is more than enough to turn things around, especially the situation we are in today. When you can see the futility, you can see how the cookies are crumbling in these, other so-called big parties.
All right, we can see some of the campaigns. You've been embarking on.
We have launched our PCC, that Presidential Campaign Council. That's what we launched that day, and our manifesto, which is about the government by rule of law. And believe you wouldn't know, the kind of calls we are receiving, the people that are coming to us, it will be a pleasant surprise for Nigerians.
And you think that your chances are high against the PDP or APC or Labour Party in a field dominated by people like Atiku Abubakar, Bola Tinubu, or Peter Obi and Kwankwaso?
You see, these parties, the APC and PDP, believe you me, it's just a matter of time that you will see how those parties will disappear. I'll tell you why. Unfortunately for APC, for instance, they ignore or took for granted those sentiments that today in Nigeria, if you don't reckon with them in your presidential ticket, you are dead on arrival. That is the issue of Muslim ticket. You can't call the or you can't just ignore a complete segment of the country based on their faith that they are not competent. Just because somebody is a Christian is not competent to be on the
they say that it's been tried in the country before in 1993.
And 1993 is not today. 1993 Nigeria was still a normal country that you can say, okay, you can come with anything because people still believed in themselves. APC government had not made a case for being sentimental in governance. I'm talking about issues like you have nepotism and things like that you are only appointed because you have a particular faith or because you are a particular section of the country. That was not what was happening in 1993 that you are talking about. But today it has been raised to such a high pedestal that people look at themselves first as, am I Yoruba or Hausa or Igbo? Am I a Muslim or Christian or what have you? So, but that's what we want to ensure that it doesn't, go on.
You think Nigerians are angry enough to want to push out the APC from government?
Oh, certainly.
Why do you think an ADP will be, a strong contender for that position?
Will be a strong contender because we represent the unity of this country. I'm from the North Central. I don't represent the extreme of those sentiments that we're talking about. I don't represent it, not by geography, not by my tribe, not by my exposure. My background is such that I can see everybody as first a human being, and what can you bring to the table in terms of your merit? In terms of credibility. What do you have? What can you offer? I think number one, that's what we think about. In my school, that's how I was told that. It's not the color of the skin or the faith or the ethnicity. It is what the man has here.
Yeah, but a lot of Nigerians don't seem to share that optimism with you, because they will say, for example, you are from the North Central, yes. President Muhammadu Buhari is from the Northwest, and if he's been in power for 8 years, why should Nigerians vote for another Northerner to actually take over from him?
Based on
is it time for us to discard those kind of sentiments?
Is it based on equity or fairness? I don't want to discuss such things, but if we have to discuss it, even at that, you look at the zones, 6 zones that we have, Democratic Zone 1. North Central is the only one that has not even had a chance as a vice president under a civilian administration, not to call president. It's only North Central of all the zones. Where Atiku was a vice president, we have never been even a vice president. And you look at all the other zones, they've been given chance to rule this country under a democratic setting. It's only North Central, if we must discuss that. But I am coming with the capacity that this country requires, and the intellect that is required, and the educational background that is required, and the international network that is required to transform this fabulously blessed natural endowment that we have as Nigeria.
And you think Nigerians would trust you enough to want to vote you as president on February 25th?
They have seen the hopelessness of going the direction we are going today. We have seen the hopelessness. Not even a Katsina man will today be happy to vote for APC. You know that the president is from Katsina, isn't it? Not even a Katsina man will be happy, because it doesn't translate to what good governance. Because you are from the same town or the same village or the same religion, that does not translate to good governance.
Well, some will argue that it's because you are in the opposition, that's why you're saying it. That if you get into power, like President Buhari has done, you will see that Nigeria's problems are just insurmountable, and the citizens are not cooperating, and that's why President Buhari says he has just done his best.
And the same Nigerians are heading the first-class organizations, international organizations all over the world. You have Okonjo Iweala there, heading World Trade Organization. You have Amina as number 2 in UN. You have Akinwumi there, heading the African Development Bank, and you have so many of them that you can't even mention in Biden's government, in the UK, in Canada, in whatever. I'm talking about even people in government, in their private capacities. You give a Nigerian a chance, believe you me, it will amaze you. So I have that kind of go-getter, in me, because I know, what we can do if we are given the chance. And we'll be given that chance because nobody wants to go through this, of hopelessness.
Well, some political analysts have said that if Nigerians continue to look at parties like yours, the ADP, Labour Party, and all of some other ones, away from the two big parties, that the vote will be spread all around, and there's a tendency that none of you may have enough votes to emerge as president. Do you foresee a runoff if Nigerians begin to, look at different political parties and cast their votes?
From what you have seen, from what you can see that PDP today is a shadow of itself. It's, believe me, it's not what it used to be because of the way the primaries were conducted. Everybody from the southern part of this country was expecting PDP to give their presidential ticket to somebody from the south. They didn't. Nobody. I mean, the southern governors came together. That's why some of us even believe that Okowa is a mole. As a vice president to Atiku, he's not there to ensure that ticket flies because they want the president to go to the north, to the south. So Atiku is just being taken, it's a roller coaster. Where he lands, nobody can tell you.
You don't think Atiku will be the president of Nigeria?
And not on this platform of PDP, because there's no more PDP.
How about Bola Tinubu?
That's even worse. It's a worse. That's a nightmare for Nigeria. By capacity, by spin, by what happened. Can you find a situation where have you ever seen a government organizing primaries that somebody will use his money over and above government power and win? That's what Bola Tinubu did.
And what do you make of the endorsement of Peter Obi above parties like yours?
No. Okay, but the endorsement of Peter Obi,
very quickly,
it's also coming from the background of what I've told you, that those who are echoing this endorsement had spoken before that, they want power to move to the south, isn't it? And in spite of the fact that Labour Party cannot, for certain obvious reasons, forget about the endorsement.
What are the obvious reasons? I mean, very quickly before we end this program.
The obvious reasons are the fact that, like Obasanjo said, we should forget about what has happened, isn't it, with the Southeasterners? But you can only forgive, you don't forget. And you can't forget when the same Southeasterners are still harping on the issue of IPOB. When the same Southeasterners were killing the Hausas some few months ago, burning their houses, burning their cars.
Insecurity is everywhere. We've seen insecurity, not just being a Hausa, Igbo, or Yoruba problem.
You want me to tell you the truth, isn't it? Or you want me to be political?
No, it's for our viewers to be able to judge you, not me. Very quickly now, before we end the program. If I have to be
political, I'll say that, okay, people will forget. No human being forget bad experiences.
And you think those things will count against a Peter Obi despite all the endorsement?
Unless you want to deceive yourself.
Well,
go to the north.
The elders of the country are not saying it that way. That's why you have the endorsements.
The elders must behave in a way that will be in consonance with their origin. That's what Obasanjo is doing. And that's what Edwin Clark is doing. And that's what any elder from the south who feels convinced that he should step forward and squander whatever he has, on the platter of where I am from, and I want the president to come to that side, will come out and endorse
all right. Unfortunately, we don't have enough time here, but we must thank you so much. Yabagi Sani is a presidential candidate of the Action Democratic Party. Thank you for this political enlightenment. And then, of course, telling Nigerians of what you hope to do if given power. And, of course, letting Nigerians know that the two big parties are not the options. But, well, it's left for Nigerians to judge as they await the campaigns by the ADP. Well, that's how it's been for this edition of Arise Prime Time. Do join us again tomorrow from me and the entire team here in Abuja. Goodbye and thank you for watching. I'm Somna Sambo.